and we are going to kick it off with our AI Ahas segment, which has been co-branded, tip of the hat to Ilona's colleague, Megan McMillan at Cleary. AI Ahas are our segment where we hope to inspire people in legal to be using AI in lots of different ways in their lives, personally and professionally. So we want to hear how each of you have been using AI. And we're going to kick it off with Jae to tell us, what have you been using it for in a way that you find particularly delightful these days, Jae?
Super fun one. Are you ready? So it is a custom agent with custom instructions. Not very long, but you know how everyone's been complaining about how GPT writing style is so fake and it sounds like AI. I actually the instructions are all about tone and voice. And I use it as I don't know if everybody here is familiar with the Key and Peele segment, Obama's anger translator, Luther. So it's a reverse Luther. So I type in super angry emails and then it just spits back to me lovely, gracious, patient emails. But that's my AI aha.
My gosh, that's amazing. I love that. Ilona, what is your AI aha?
I'm really inspired by that. Mine's going to be a lot simpler, but it's so effective. So on the professional side, right, every day for work. So I'm constantly on calls. A lot of my day is taken up with calls, right? And you're going back to back to back. Those of you who know me, you know that I start my calls 5 minutes after the half hour or the hour, right, to give yourself that little buffer room. And I take a lot of notes during my calls. So I'm always in OneNote taking notes, right? And I'm constantly now using Legora, which is our, partner platform internally, our all-purpose platform. And I'm always taking my notes and I'm, prompting and synthesizing them and then taking action items or, executive summaries from my notes. And then in that 5 minute buffer in between my calls, I can then send those notes out, right, incredibly quickly right after the call, and then it's done, right? So you don't have that running to-do list through the day, but you have your instant takeaways. And I prompt it several times to say, what are the takeaways? Did I miss anything in terms of my takeaways? Is there anything that's inferred that I should make sure that we do, right? So just generating insights based on the notes I've already taken. And it's just a closed workflow loop that's beautifully efficient. And so I highly recommend it. On the personal side, so my daughter's 9 years old. She's very creative and she's always drawing things. So we spend a lot of time, doing art projects and drawing things. And she's always asking what she should draw or what she should create or like scenes, right? And so I'm always asking ChatGPT what we should draw and how, kind of creating with ChatGPT and figuring out what we can put pen to paper on. And that's been a lot of fun. She's like, Mom, stop using ChatGPT. We should just talk. And I'm like, no, but this helps us be more creative, right? It's a creative agent. So now she's gotten really excited by it too.
Oh, I love that. I also have a 9-year-old daughter, and she also loves to sort of ask ChatGPT for inspiration and then go write stories and draw too for fun.
Those are both amazing. I feel I need to go back to both though. Jay, did you create it in on ChatGPT's platform? Are you on OpenAI's platform? Okay, so it's a GPT basically that's doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I used GPT to help me with the tone and voice analysis of the outputs I wanted. I gave it some samples of, emails that I thought were particularly kind and gracious and patient and still
Yeah.
concise. And then, it took me down a whole rabbit hole of like, what are the components of voice? And then so it helped me like tighten the system instructions. Yeah.
Awesome. And Ilona, did you why do you take your own notes instead of just letting an AI take notes? Because you're going to take better notes, and so then it can create
Exactly.
better. Yeah.
Where we can, I do use it, but I find it, it's my own takeaways. It's not the whole meeting, right? We all know how this kind of works. You're taking the strategic parts away from the conversation. And then the goal is really to figure out, there should never be a meeting without action items is my perspective,
Yeah.
right? So if there's not an action item that's drawn from the notes, that's also a problem. So that's actually also that helps me elevate that insight as to, was this an effective meeting? Did this make sense, right? Could this have been a Teams message or an email, right? Instead of a meeting in the
Yeah.
first.
That's super interesting because aren't we all trying to figure out which of our meetings can be emails or
Yeah.
Teams messages? Yeah. Yeah.
I love that though. I think that sometimes I see a lot of people, even people who are very into AI, exploring, like thinking a lot about it. Like sometimes they're not really intentional about who should take the pen on the first draft of anything. I think, it's not a monolithic, like one or the other is the right answer. I think it's application specific. And I really like the idea of, us doing the first run of the notes because I've generally been unimpressed with the call recording transcript derived notes. And then you end up, I think, maybe spending more time weeding out like the mischaracterization, or sometimes, they don't actually understand what you're talking about. I think that's brilliant. I'm going to try that.
Small hat goes a long way. Yeah.
I really liked that recent the one useful thing blog post that Ethan Malik put out, the think first, write first, meet first idea. I was playing around on a writing project this summer, and just out of curiosity, I asked Claude, Gemini, and ChatGPT just to write this article that I was writing. Like, I gave it prompts and I gave it context, and I think I might have engaged deep research first. And I was not really impressed with the first draft, but I was curious to see whether it would be easier to try to edit from a first draft than to write on my own first. And I ultimately found it much more frustrating to write that way than to think it out first and then sort of use it as an editing partner. So Ilona, I can totally see the benefits of taking notes yourself and then trying to capture the takeaway. And Jae, I could actually see the benefit of using Ilona's emails to train your agent. Ilona writes the world's loveliest emails, and I wish I could write like her with her tone. The world should capture that.
Yeah, I can confirm. I can confirm. She is the world's most gracious email writer. Hey Jen, I tried the first draft of the writing also because I still write quite a bit. The thing I found most helpful actually, and what I've been doing recently when I have to draft stuff is to get AI, whether it's GPT or Claude, to interview me. Like I just give it the topic. Yeah, give it the topic and the audience, and then I like act like a reporter or act like a student or act like someone in the audience. Like, what do you want to know? Ask me one question at a time. Or I say, like, give me 5 questions. Then, it's more of a brainstorming exercise because I find that just like I was saying about the being intentional who takes the pen on the first draft, I think sometimes when we jump to the final deliverable or the output that you're trying to create, you don't get the best results working with AI. I think being a little creative, open-minded about the production process gets really good results for me.
I love that. Do you always type with it, or do you use voice mode ever for the interview?
Ed Sohn, who's our head of product and one of my best friends, he has been reminding me to use voice mode for like a year and a half now. And for whatever reason, I'm a typer. I'm a typist. That's just me.
Even when you have your phone, like if you're walking around and you want to continue the conversation, even on your phone, you're typing. Interesting.
Yeah, because well, I am now what they call an elder millennial. Hashtag magic millennial. So one of my like work flex moves was sending these like perfectly formatted emails sent from my iPhone, and you guys know because I blow up your phones all day with text. Like I'm a furious texter. So even on my phone, that's kind of what's most natural for me. I tried voice mode, but I think it's also that I don't like waiting for it to speak back to me, and I don't love like recording voice notes myself.
It's interesting. I love the multimodality of it because one thing that I've realized since I don't work in an organization anymore is that I really crave conversations like this with really smart people because I think I learn as I talk out loud. And so I love voice mode because I really do think I make connections that I wouldn't make through typing. So I think I'm going to try your approach, Jae, and interview with voice mode to see what happens.
That makes a ton of sense. Actually, I am an internal processor. I think by writing, like I always have in my whole career. Ed's very much an external processor. And I feel like external processors love voice mode, but I love multimodal AI. It's
Yeah.
just what I love are the photos. Like I love taking pictures of things when I'm walking around the world. I have tried the, take a picture of what's in my pantry and my fridge and like what can I make? That's like amazing. So I love and I will scribble things on, Scratchpad and then like take pictures of it. I love that. But the voice mode is just it's not my jam.